Hello, everybody. I thought maybe I'd give you a little look into behind the scenes today and some of the things that some of the equipment that I use in my day-to-day life. This is a Nikon D50 200. It's the camera that I've been using for the last 7 or 8 years. All the pictures you've seen that from my on my website are shot with this camera. Um, it's a 24 megapixel uh, uh, camera from Nikon, one of the sort of at the budget end. Uh, and but that's okay. I'm not a rich photographer, so um, and it shoots wonderful pictures as you can tell. 24 megapixels is uh, not up to full standard these days, but it's good enough, and in my opinion. And most of the pictures that you see online are 12 megapixels, which is if they're high resolution. So it's got plenty of resolution for certainly for online. And as I've shown in several other instances where I've blown my uh, pictures or images that were taken with this camera up to as much as a 50-inch diagonal, and there's no pixelization. And you can make big. Let's just put it this way: you can make plenty big prints. Uh, you wouldn't want to put it on the side of a building, but certainly in any living room I can imagine, it would be just fine. Um, anyway, I've been shooting with this camera for a long time. The one thing that differentiates it from uh, the more expensive cameras is it has a smaller sensor. However, I bought this one specifically because it was one of the very first. Um, I'm using an acronym now for non-photographers. It just means it's smaller than 35 millimeter, an APS-C uh, uh, sensor inside, which is 1.5 times. Uh, you have to, well, suppose this way, it's called the crop sensor, and it's 30% smaller than, 33% smaller than a full frame camera. But this one has 24 megapixels. At the time, the full frame cameras were the best that they made by Nikon when I bought this was the D750. Uh, and as far as 35 millimeter uh, cameras go, and the D750 at the time was also 24 megapixels resolution. So in many ways, this sensor is jam packed, and it's very, very good, and it takes very good pictures. The only problem that this camera has, it has the advantage of if I put a 300 millimeter lens on it, is that 300 millimeter acts like almost like a 450 millimeter lens on a full frame camera. So I can buy less expensive lenses and still get full telephoto capabilities. Um, and but on the other end, the disadvantage is that if I buy a wide angle lens, like I own a 10 millimeter uh, wide angle lens, that becomes now all of a sudden a 15 millimeter equivalent to a full frame camera. So it's not quite as wide angle. You can't get the full wide screen that you can get on a full frame camera. But again, it's definitely worth it. I mean, you use your feet, you get farther away or you get closer. It all depends. You can take good pictures with any camera if you take the time and think about it. But anyway, this is the camera that I've been using. The news is I bought a new one. Um, this is a D750. This is, as you can see, a much bigger, much heavier camera, unfortunately. That's the one thing I'm not particularly impressed with. Um, however, comparing the backs of the two, real quickly. This is the back of my D5200. Fairly simple layout, not a lot of buttons, uh, you know, pretty easy to use. This, on the other hand, is the back of the D750. Buttons galore. Not sure yet what all of them do. I'm getting there though. And this will be the camera that I'm going to be, I just got this week. I'm going to be taking with me to, well, I'm going to take both of them with me. I'm going to be taking it with me to West Virginia, or to Virginia next week on my vacation and fall foliage photo shoot. Um, this will give me full wide range capabilities, which is going to be good for landscape photography. Um, it is a spectacular performer in terms of the things it can do. If there are certain lenses, for example, that are built for my smaller camera, um, this is one of them. I have others, but that are not built specifically for that other camera. Uh, when I put this on this camera, it automatically knows that this lens is made for a smaller sensor, and it automatically uh, crops it so that I only use the size, the amount of the sensor that's inside the camera that the lens will allow. So I get the same picture with this camera with when I use the lenses that are built for the smaller camera as I would get on my other one. In fact, my other one is actually better resolution because it uses the whole sensor, whereas this uses only part of the sensor. Since they're both 24 megapixels, which was the standard back in the day. This is a used camera, by the way. Like I said, not a rich photographer, but uh, it, um, it was only 24 megapixels back then, which is one of the reasons I was so excited to get the D5200 at the same resolution. So anyway, that's my new camera. Thought I'd let you see it. Little little look into the life of what excites a photographer. And I hope I haven't bored you with too much uh, photographic detail there, but uh, if I did and you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me. I'll be happy to answer them for you, especially if you're a young photographer who needs some advice about some stuff, cameras, and maybe you're making a purchase and you'd like to know my opinion. I'd be happy to share it with you. So you can message me anytime. Images by Robert Barr, email me, images by Robert Barr at gmail.com, or you can message me through my website. So, anyway, that's it for today. Well, maybe not for today. I might be back. Who knows? And I'll see you all later. Thanks for supporting me.